My father came over in 1909. His father came in 1899. He was here 10 years. My grandfather came alone, and then they sent for my grandmother and his two sisters, my two aunts. They came over in 1911, and that was the Dintino side of the family. On Butler Court, they all had big gardens. Everybody had a garden. My dad, Mr. Galdarelli, was next door. Mr. Di Lorenzo was across the street. And my uncle, John DiGiulio, was down a little way. And next door was Mr. Grassi. Oh, they were all Italians. And the Italians all came from the same place in Italy. And they all settled in that area because they knew each other. Then this area, what we call Ward 5, they used to call it Little Italy. I was born there, July 1937. And my dad was out in the yard. My mother actually got driven to the hospital by a neighborhood kid because I was the first one born in the hospital. My sisters, my brother were born in the house. The neighborhood was fun to grow up in because we all were together, you know. I can remember as a kid going to graduation every year and sitting on the bacon at
in front of Huntress, right?
Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and watch them walk in with them, carrying the rose, you know. And the tennis courts were there. And we used to go to a Spalding Gymnasium, which was on Main Street. And they had a swimming pool downstairs. Once in a while, we could go in, take a swim in the pool, but it was so chlorinated it'd kill your eyes. You know? But the college always was friendly to us, you know. Little did we know it would take over the neighborhood, you know. Happy and Way, like I say, Happy and Way had Italian people living, and in the Colondonios were on Winchester Court. So that area had Italians sprinkled in, even to this neighborhood, which was, you know, the Hooper Street, Cobb Street area. You know, it was that's until the 60s it started to change, you know. And then they bought all the houses, the college. They built Carle Hall. They took a lot of the houses. Carle Hall ended up right on my father's garden. And so he raised the garden. And he used to tell the college kids, you know, don't go in the garden. So he put a bench and he used to leave vegetables for them when they'd come by to take tomatoes and cucumbers, you know. And they were very good. And like I say, my aunt lived there all alone in the house that's now the laundromat. Annie DiGiulio. And she had a little dog. And they used to invite her over to Carle Hall for lunches. And she'd make them Italian cookies. They were really good to her, you know. So they cohabitated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The college kids were very good to them. You know, they never had any trouble. Mr. Mallon, Bob Mallon, wanted to buy up the neighborhood, which he did, and negotiated, ended up buying my mother's house after my dad died, and moved her over on to Blake Street, 81 Blake Street. And because I said, the only deal is she has to be able to walk to church.
Mhm.
So that was closer to St. Bernard's.
Yeah.
And that's where she ended up the rest of her life. He rented her the house for $75 a month
Wow.
with everything paid
Yeah.
except for the telephone. And little did he know she was going to live
20 years.
to be 94. He ended up buying most of the houses, made deals with them, and then tore them down. Because when they were developing Hyde Street, one of the neighbors on Butler Court, John DiLorenzo, they bought one of the houses for like $200-300. You can have the house if you can move it. So we bought the house and they moved it from Hyde Street to Butler Court, put it on Butler Court, and they rebuilt it. But they ended up having to rebuy it later. That was the last time they did that. But anyway, Bob Mallon bought most of it. And then, we used to, him and I kind of went head to head on how much, and he did take some of them by eminent domain, but most of them he negotiated sales for the college development. But anyway, now there's a few of us still left, what we call the neighborhood kids. The DiLorenzo girl, and Rita Ciano, and my cousin Ian DiGiulio. They're all in their 80s, and they're the last of their family. So that generation is pretty much gone,